Hey everybody, it's Stalker 13R bringing you another episode of Team Able, Team Anything But Last. Today we're going to focus on another average game. We're in the 3601H today, one of my favorite tanks. And you'll see we did alright. It's nothing to write home about. We got some damage. We got a few people off the board, but in yesterday's video we talked about working a corridor and how you wanted to dominate that space and keep the momentum and the pressure up on the enemy. So today we're going to have a little bit different of a take on that, because as much as I like to play that dominating role and pressing forward aggressively without just driving aimlessly forward until I ram the enemy, unless it's late in the game, but today I'm going to play support on that flank. So here we are on Liberty Falls. We're going to go to the top of the map, because if I get down in that hole I'll never get back out of it. So I'm going to stay on the left side of the map, down the 1-2 column there, and we're going to support the team. There's going to be a couple of vehicles that get there first, and they're going to work the 1 column. That's where I normally like to be. But the risk you run playing aggressive up there, which is what is needed to win that flank, is that you can get flanked in that position if someone doesn't move up to the 2 column and get into position there. So I'll put the match up on the board. You can see what kind of vehicles that we've got in the game. There's a bunch of KV2s running around, so we're going to have to watch out for those big super alpha damage derp guns. So you can see that there's that 1 column. That's where these tanks ahead of me that spawned are going to go to. So I'm going to go over to this lower column here, and I have to watch out for exposing to some flank fire in a couple of spots there, but there's 3 different spots from that 2 column that I can get cross map fire support, and I can support our team on the opposite flank. Once you get into that flanking position and you're winning that flank, your choice is always, do I support the other flank? Do I move back to our base to protect base from capture? Or do I push on to the enemy cap? Which should usually be your last choice in any of those 3 scenarios. So the team's moved up and they've found us. I've got my flank a little bit exposed. Again, I don't usually play in this position. I thought that that rock would have covered me, but it didn't, so I'm going to move forward a little bit and protect my flank. And all I'm really doing here, you can see the other guys have moved up. They've got 2 guys in Overwatch, and they've got 1 guy that's right up in their face, spotting that back ridge in case they've got anybody back there camping in Overwatch. And I'm just going to protect their flank over here. That's all I'm really doing. And I'm going to try to keep moving a little bit. Artie doesn't seem to be focusing over here, but that can change in an instant. And now I'm facing off against a 3001H. And it has that 75-55 gun that we talked about that a lot of people like to run on this tank. Just wanted to push forward there and see if I could get a cheeky shot, because I'm not really afraid. And look at that, I take a hit in the gun. So yep, they're out there and they're looking, but I can't get a shot on them, but they can hit me. So there's 221 on the damage against that tank. Now people pick that 75-55 over this short 88 that I'm using because they say it has a higher rate of fire and it has 10 more millimeters of penetration. Well, I didn't need the 10 millimeters of penetration there, and yeah, these guys are 1 tier lower than I am. But I don't have a lot of problems with pen being an issue on this gun as it is. So here I'm facing the 2 of them, and do I look really worried about that 10 extra millimeters of pen that he has? Is this tank able to sit in the open and repeatedly fire that gun and take advantage of the higher rate of fire to back me off with this 88? No, they're not. Even if the tank was another 3601H with the same kind of armor that I have, to utilize that higher rate of fire, you'd have to be in a position where you can just sit perfectly still and shoot as fast as you can reload. Well, the takeaway is you can't. On the battlefield, if you do that, you're going to die. So that higher rate of fire really isn't doing you a lot of good in most situations. So now we called this IMT2 because I'm going to display some more of my amazing driving skills here. And I'm going to, instead of pushing on towards the enemy cap, now that we've won this flank and, trying to cap or get some of that juicy damage, I'm going to come over here and help out, these 4 or 5 tanks that are on the other flank, on the other side of the map, because that's the team play choice to make. Just rushing into cap, it's a little soon for that. And here I'm going to just drive down into the water and see if I can drown myself. And, I can't get along to that ridge line that's by their cap, but I can't quite get that heavy tank that's got our other flank stalled. So I'm going to move up to another position down this ridgeline and just work this ridgeline to work those cross support positions on the map. And here we go. I think that's a KV-2, and I can just see the top of this guy's turret. I'm looking at the artillery there, but I can't get a shot on them. Wherever they are, they've got some cover. But I've got just a sliver of this KV-2 turret. I'm going to see if I can't use this laser-accurate German gun to get some shots in. There, I hit him in the cannon. It's critical damage. And I took that target off the battlefield, and now that flank is free to move forward, and we've got the enemy surrounded. That's going to cut down on their chance to get in some lucky shots, dealing with our team one flank at a time instead of having to divide their attention between the 2 flanks. And that's why supporting that other flank first, before you move on to cap, is so critical. And now we're just here in cleanup, so I'm going to miss out on a little bit of last-minute damage because I went over and supported the other flank. But we made the smart play for the team, and that now they have to divide their attention and can't just focus their fire on one side and then the other and end up, pulling out that game. So I hope that makes sense and makes a couple of points. This was a little bit different opportunity and a little bit different role in fighting in that corridor, since there were 2 of them, and there were opportunities to fire across the map and support that other flank. Once you win your flank, pull up that mini-map, look at the map. If you've won your flank, how's the other flank doing? Well, in this case, they were stalled out, and we were in a position that we could cross fire on the map and support them. Had they been completely taken out, I would have turned around and been the only one to go back to base, and been the only one in map position to get that reset, so that they didn't cap out and steal a win, even though we were dominating them in kills. So, and the last option is to then, okay, our cap isn't under threat, the other flank is moving forward, now we can move to cap as well and make them split their attention between the 2. So that's kind of the ranking and priority of when you win your flank, what do you want to do? And I put the gun stats up there, and I'm showing the 75-55 so that you can see, what its pin is, and why I choose the 88. So it's a personal choice, but I find that more often that alpha damage does me more good than the rate of fire. Thanks for watching. I'm Stalker13R, and drive safe.